Hi, I'm Ron from the Titan Trailer Brake Group, and I want to introduce you today to the Andersen No-Sway Weight Distribution Hitch. Now already you can see that I'm holding this, and this whole kit only weighs 23 kilos, and that's it in itself is a breakthrough in engineering. Now what we want to do here is show you how to set it up, and let's start that now. And one of the most important things we've got to do to be safe on the roads is to make sure that our caravan is running level. Now we want to do that now. We're going to use our spirit level to get it right as our first point, and then we're going to check the points on our caravan. We're going to measure that now. So let's do that. So we've got the front end measured, and we want to be able to record that. So let's go and do the back end as well. So having got those measurements now, we want to do exactly the same for our towing vehicle. So let's go and do that. Having established those other measurements we've taken, we want to be able to know what our coupling ball height is to the ground, because we've got to now match up to our towing ball just a wee bit higher so that the weight of the caravan will settle down onto it. Now, to do that, this is our receiver, solidly built, lovely wells on it, and this fits into the receiver of our towing vehicle. And then we put our pin in there to hold it close. Now what we've got here is the Andersen tow ball system. Now, that's a tapered ball that fits into a piece of brake friction material, and we've got to establish now that that fits in there, and we've got to get that height. We had 540 there at the coupling. Now we want to make it about 590, and we want to see if we can get that just by adjusting that up and down by putting some of our bolts across it like this. And now we're going to measure from there to the ground and see if we can make it around about 590, and you'll have your own measurements for this. Now I'm looking at that there, we're just about spot on right there now. So what we want to do is just put our second bolt in there, fit them up, but before we go much further, we want to put now in our lower triangle plate. This is the plate that puts the tension on our chains as we turn. First of all, we've got to put that up underneath there. We've got to make sure that that pin will go through there nicely. So we'll establish that in there like that. And we'll put our pin in it, the other side, just to make sure it's in there. Now, having done that, we've got to make sure that this has been tightened onto that. Yes, that one's good. And the bottom one, that's good too. Now what we want to do now is hook up our chains and the other part and the red spring of the whole operation. So let's do that now. Now the next step that we've got to do is to set up our brackets here so that they'll take our chains that make the whole technology of this unit work. But before we do that, we've got a very important thing to do. We've got to make sure that this plate that we mentioned earlier is at 90 degrees to the centre of our caravan. That is important because that's how we have to adjust the tension on our red springs. First of all, we've got to put our rear bracket on, but to do that, we need to measure the distance from the centre there to about 27 inches. So let's just make sure that we've got that right. So there we go, we've got that at 27 inches. As I said, we've got a mark here, you should do that too, so you've got some kind of reference point. Now we're going to set our bracket, the front of our bracket here, in line with our black mark there, then we know it's right. And we'll get our back plate put that up the back. Fit our nuts to the back bone, and the same on the bottom. So having done that now, we've got to fit up our chains. Now we want to put it's a standard D-shackle up to the front plate there, just finger tight, don't over tighten it. Then we're going to take and connect our spring to it, now our chain to it. What we don't want to do is have that at a bit of an angle. So just make sure that is parallel as it runs all the way through there. Now, what we've got to do is put our red spring on. I mentioned that earlier for you, and that's very important because there's some things we have to do with that. That just slides straight over there like that. We put on our big washer, and then we just tighten that up. Bring it up, finger tight. As I move back again for you, we just want to bring that up a little bit, and we do that by tightening that up there. Not too much. And that's the first stage. And then we go now into the fine tuning stage. Okay, now having fitted up our chains and our rear brackets, we now need to tighten them up to specification. So let's do that. Now, having tensioned up the main bolts, we just want to do these grub screws. So let's do that. And we've got to do the fine tension now on our red bush. Now, what we're going to do is we're just going to bring this up, and we've got to make sure that we lift the whole van now. It's got to come up, which will put load on the forward vehicle, or the towing vehicle, and get the balance that we're looking for. Now, what I've done here, this comes in your kit. It's already included. So we're going to use that here to do the tightening up. What I've done here, put a little red mark on here just to give me an idea so that as I count it up, I know that as I do one turn here, I go across to the other side and do the other side with one turn, so that both chains are brought up equally. It is important to do that because we want to keep the front plate there set as we originally set it up at about 90 degrees. So we'll just bring that up. That's one turn, two turns, and have a look at where we are now. You've noticed that it has moved up, and we want to bring it up just a wee bit more. And let's have a look at what we've got here now. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and a bit threads exposed. That's a nice figure to have, and everything should be right now. So that's the installation complete, and if you need any help now, please contact your dealer or call Titan Trailer Brakes direct.